I want us to think about the state of our mind today, just today, and going through what we're going through. And by the way, if you didn't listen to last night's teaching on Redeemed to Run, I want to encourage you to go back to the ministry page and listen to that teaching again. I believe it'll add value to your life. But today I'm getting ready to do a leadership teaching with a business, and one of the things that we're locating is, okay, during crisis, during difficult times, how are we thinking? Are our thoughts, are they uncertain? Are our thoughts negative? Are our thoughts wavering? James chapter 1, verses 5 through 8, you can read it in your own time. But in verse 8 it says, "For being as he is a man of two minds, hesitating, dubious, irresolute, he is unstable and unreliable and uncertain about everything he thinks, feels, and decides." Are you being uncertain in uncertain times, or are you spending enough time in the presence of God to stay certain on what God has promised your life? You know, the problems don't change the will of God. The circumstances don't change the will of God, but are you certain? In John chapter 16, verse 33, Jesus is talking about, he says, you know, in the world you're going to have trials and tribulation and frustration, and we've all are in the same boat going through the same things right here. But notice what he says. He says, "Be of good cheer, take courage, be confident, certain, undaunted. For I have overcome the world, and I've deprived it of power to harm you and conquered it for you." Be certain. Not James, the half-brother of Jesus, says when you're uncertain, don't expect to receive anything from the Lord. If your mind is like the two waves that's being tossed here and tossed there. Remember the disciples in the boat, and they're being tossed from one side to the other, and Jesus gets up and he speaks to the storm and he says, "Peace, be still." He could instill that certainty and that faith into the storm because that's what he had on the inside. Are you being certain in uncertain times? So how do you stabilize your mind? How do you stabilize your thinking from going, oh my gosh, we're not going to make it, to we're going to make it, oh my gosh, we're the virus, to know I'm healed by the stripes of Jesus? How do you stop from going back and forth and be certain and position yourself to receive what God has promised? So when you find God's promise, whatever the situation is, then Paul tells us in Philippians chapter 4, he says, then fix your mind on these things. Train yourself to think on things that are good, lovely, pure, of a just, and of a good report. What are some ways that you can do that? Limit your time on social media when it comes to what's going on in this world. Limit your time to listening to the news. Make sure you're going to the right sources and listening to what's going on. Don't listen to Aunt Boo Boo and Uncle Ding Dong about everything. If they're unstable, don't listen to unstable people thinking it's going to make you stable. Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, he's the same today, and he's the same forever. He's certain, he's stable. And so if I want to stabilize my mind, then spend time with him, spend time in the Word, spend time with the promise, and let's stop going from here to here to here to here, and let's be certain, let's be confident that in Christ Jesus we are created to overcome, we're going to overcome, and we're going to receive everything God's promised us. Keep growing, keep going. God bless you guys.